Amanda here from DMG, and today I have another review of one of these game guides. This time it is Piggyback's Red Dead Redemption 2, the complete official guide. This one is a paperback. It does come in hardback, but I decided that the paperback was perfectly fine, and there was a bit of a price difference, so I didn't think that it was worth that for me personally. So I thought we'd have a quick look through so you can have an idea of what the contents are and decide whether it's something that you might like yourselves. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so to start with, as I said, it's paperback, but it's a really nice quality paperback. It's not really flimsy or anything like that. The binding feels really good, and the actual quality of the pages themselves feel really nice. They've got a nice thickness to them. You can see they've got a lovely coating on them, so they're really lovely. The colours are bright and vibrant, so everything is really printed very nicely. Content wise, I can't comment as to the accuracy of them. I haven't played the game completely, so I haven't read the book completely because I don't obviously want to give myself any spoilers, but it appears fairly thorough, and from what I've seen so far, the content is good. So we start off with a foreword and a beautiful bit of artwork, and then we go into exactly what the content are. So you've got just a complete list here explaining that. Now I won't go into that here, we'll do them part at a time. So the first one is what they call a primer, which is basically the actual game mechanics, I guess, and how you do things. So here we've got essential commands, so basic movement, combat, etc. It's got what's on the screen, so let's bring that up so you can see a little bit more clearly exactly what the artwork is like, but also you can see it says like there number 3, and then you go down to 3 and it says that's your attribute meter, and it explains what that means. So it's got that kind of detail for you. And then we've got things like just more command details, the game structure, how missions work, etc., how you travel, the maps in the game, etc. And at the side, by the way, we have like a menu, and this is like your main chapters here, so it highlights the one that you're in, which is primer. Let's bring you right up. But then underneath that you have like the subheadings. So this is this chapter, primer's chapter headings, and then it marks where you are within the chapter as well. So that's really a nice way of handling the different chapters and the different sections, so you know exactly where you are. So if you've jumped to locations and you actually were looking to go to game structure, you know you've gone too far, etc. So it just makes it nice and simple to find things. So again, then we go into attributes, courses. We've got just lovely images all the way through as well. Witnesses, the wanted system, different things about the gangs, different challenges, hunting, fishing, all the basics on that, all the basics about crafting and items, all about your ammunition and outfits, etc. So that is a relatively small chapter, but it gives you a lot of good information, and that, I understand, is kind of a spoiler-free chapter, so it's quite a nice one to read if you're looking to understand how the game works, but you don't want to know the details of the game. So now we get on to the missions themselves. So again, here you'll see on here we've got these little chapters. It's highlighted the word missions. When we go in, we're on missions, and then it breaks down the missions sections into different chapters, which I assume is to do with how the game works. So again, on this, please be aware, obviously I'm going through this book. There may be that you see something that you don't want to see, so I'm try to not show you sort of too up close on certain things like that will give too much away. So obviously though, it is hard to do that and show you the book and entirely, so just be aware that you need to be a little bit cautious if you don't want to have any spoilers. I'm hoping that I won't give anything away that's important, but anyway, so what we've got here is the story so far. So it gives you a bit of background, which I think you get when you start the game, so there's nothing sort of out there, but it sort of sets it all out. It gives you the characters, and again, it's just really nice the way it's laid out. I like the way that it's kind of arty, the way all of that, it just looks really nice, I think. And then we have the chapter structure. So this is just explaining about their book, really, about how they are working things out. So it says, our coverage of every story chapter begins with a large diagram such as the one you can see here. So that's the diagram. And it shows you a convenient and comprehensive overview of all available missions, as well as how they are connected. So that's kind of helpful. I suspect that doesn't give anything away. So let me show you. This is obviously chapter 1, so you know, as soon as you start the game you're going to see some of these things, so I don't think this is going to be too spoilery. But you start up here, you know, new game, and then it says, you know, here, and then this is what you get, and then you can do this or this, and then it brings you down to here, etc. So it's just setting out exactly how the chapter works in a like flowchart form, but then it also tells you where you can find more detailed information about that. So for this section you want to look at page 32, and then it just gives you things about the maps, the icons, etc. So it tells you different information there as well on that, and obviously it gives you more detail about how the chapter works here as well. So then looking at chapter 1, which is Culture, I'm not going to go into the other chapters past chapter 1. I will use this as my example for you, because obviously once you start the game you're going to get straight into chapter 1, so hopefully that's not going to give away anything too much and too significant. So we've got chapter 1, and then it sets out, so if you look at the flow chart, it says the first part is Outlaws from the West. So here is Outlaws from the West, and it lays out exactly what happens with the little maps, with images, obviously step by step, what you will get. So like here, medal goals. So I guess if you're trying to get those sort of things, then that's quite useful to know. So for example, one medal goal here is take no damage during a shootout. Well, you might not know that unless you were told that on here, so that's quite handy. And then you've got just general notes, and then things about crafting, you know, because crafting here it says is unlocked at the end of chapter 1, for example. Again, I don't think that's giving anything away too significant, because you'll know that crafting has to be unlocked at some point. And then again, it's just giving you the next section. So that's entered pursued by memory, that's page 33. So in this case they're quite short. I think they'll get longer as things get more detailed and in more depth, and so each one of these is a different chapter. Now here it's got a letter which I believe belongs to the name of the beginning letter of the name of the person that instigates the mission with you. So then we carry on, and you can just see it's telling you exactly the same little maps, and on these maps it's got the numbers, and then those numbers correspond here, so you can follow and understand that. And again, beautiful artwork at the bottom. And then we go to chapter 2. So now you can see, compared to chapter 1, that flowchart, this one is a lot more complex. There's lots more different options, there's lots more different ways that you can take and directions that you can go. So again, on this I'm not going to spend masses of time letting you see this because I don't want to spoil it for you, but this is, you can see now why that is something that they decided to do it like that, because it just becomes more complex as the game goes on. And then we go into exactly the same all the way through to, I think that's, yeah, that's the end. So that goes all the way through to here. So there's lots and lots on that that you can see. So as I said, I don't want to go into it in showing you anything too much. So then we've got the next chapter, which is called Exploration. This chapter offers a comprehensive presentation of optional endeavours, activities and assorted diversions that you can encounter on your travels through the world of Red Dead Redemption. Gosh, that's hard to say quickly. And so for this one, I guess it's kind of, I think there's things like sort of, you can play card games and things. I don't know if that's in here. We'll have a look. So this bit is all about the horses. So it's telling you where you can find the horses and the different types of horses that there are. So that's really helpful if you've got a particular horse that you're wanting. And then it tells you about the different attributes, the categories, different how to handle them, wild horses, etc. So it's got quite a lot of information there, which is kind of handy. So this you might find useful to read. And then we've got our horse database here. So let's take the first one here. It's just got, I don't think we'll be giving too much away. It's just got a lot of information there. Availability, handling, different values, etc., prices. So it's got lots of info there about the different horses. Again, I don't want to spoil it by showing you too many in case you don't want to know what they are or where they are. Then we've got about bonding, which represents the level of trust and understanding between you and your horse. So it's just explaining all about that, about what happens if your horse dies, the different horse items that you can get. So that's all about your horses. Then we've got transportation, so we've got fast travel, trains, stagecoaches, etc. Then we've got about the camp and the morale of the camp upgrades, etc. And that continues. Companions, and here we've got about sort of item requests that companions, other NPCs basically could ask you. They'll say, oh, can you go and get this? And so it's just listing stuff like that for you. Then we've got about hunting. So you might be asked to go and hunt a particular animal on behalf of the gang. So I guess you could do it yourself. I don't know. I'm assuming, yeah, you can hunt just on your own back as well. And it's just telling you about different weapons and animals, etc. here. And this is animal parts and habitats. So this is all about different animals. So for example, here we've got, let's say, something not too out there. Let's have a look. We've got here a badger. So we've got here the map for your badger, and then different prices for the different types of pelts on the badger. So that's all the different animals here. There's lots of them. Like we've got here a deer, which is obviously a fairly obvious one you'd get. And as you can see, there's lots of different animals and all the information about that. Again, I'm trying to be really careful not to give too much away without, it's kind of like a balance of trying to show you enough but not to show you so much that it gives it away. So then we've got the same idea with fishing. So we've got information about fish, the fish overview, and what the bait is that's good for different fish. Gosh, these pages are so new, they're sticking together. Doesn't want to play. There we go. Oh, actually, it was so thick, it was actually one page. And then again, where the different fish are. And there's a big lovely map here. And advanced techniques, legendary fish, attributes. So this is, I think, to do with things like special attributes for your character. So again, I don't want to say anything too much about that, but yeah, so there's different things there that it's explaining, and the milestones and what you need XP wise, etc. to get those. Then we've got things like hair growth, for crying out loud, and how that affects, I think, people's reaction, and also how long it takes to grow hair, etc. I mean, it's just incredible, the detail. Then we've got challenges. So challenges are gameplay feats that you can complete in sequence to unlock rewards. There are 9 categories in total, each featuring 10 challenges. Complete all 10 within a category. It gives you access to various rewards, attribute increases, dollar payments, and perhaps more importantly, reinforced equipment that can be obtained at any trapper shop. So that's all that information here about the challenges. There's the lists of the challenges, so there's the different categories and the lists of them. Again, I don't want to spoil it by showing you, but it's just showing you the icons and obviously what category. So you've got the heading here of the challenge category, then the 10 challenges within that category, exactly what they are, the icon, I guess, that you'll find on the map, and what you unlock once you do that specific challenge. So here we go. Then we've got law enforcement. So we've got the wanted system, reinforcements, so if the lawmen catch up with you, and this is another flowchart about that and how that all works, and with regard to bounties, and we've got wanted level and lockdown, crime severity, surrendering and fleeing. So lots of information all on that. Robberies. So it's talking about you can rob stuff on your travels, so, and what sort of things, and etc. So it's got information on what's available to rob, I guess. And so we've got homes, shops, trains, time-sensitive robberies. So again, it says certain fellow gang members will offer you companion activities during the story, many of which will involve robberies. Note that these are time-sensitive missions that can only be completed while the gang is based at a specific camp. So that's interesting. And then we've got bounty hunting and all the details there, and again the map, and then what the bounty is, the details of it, where you'll find it, etc. all there as well. Stranger missions, so obviously you meet someone, they give you a mission, and that's all a list of those missions. And again, it gives you either a little map or a little picture, and then availability, walking you through that mission. So you've just, again, lots of information, beautiful artwork, very crisp, very clear. I'm hoping you can see, it's just really lovely. Great colours, very vibrant. Gunslingers. So this mission strand can be started in chapter 2 onward. Again, I'm not going to go into detail, but we've got some more information about some different characters, and so with that is about that. Then we've got loan sharking, treasure hunting, special collectibles. So I guess if you're a completionist, this is going to be perfect, because you'll want to make sure you get all of these things. I guess if you want to, you could even tick them off in here very lightly, or with a marker if you don't worry about these things. All I would say is that bear in mind that historically these books, not just this specific one, but generally, they tend to go up in value. So if you keep it in good condition, if you do need to or want to, you can sell it later, and you will almost certainly find that you will get a lot more for it than what you paid for it, assuming you bought it sort of from new. And then that's a big map with, for example, here, this is the cigarette card collections, and this is the locations of them all. And we're just making our way down this exploration section. And then we've got exotics. So I think that's, for example, here is orchids, dinosaur bones, etc. So these are all the things that you can collect. Now we've got all about the different gangs and where they are, what they are. And then this is what I was saying about the table games. So we've got about blackjack, poker, etc. And again, where you'll find those that you can play. Then we've got chance encounters, which means to me that it's not that chance if, I can list them, but maybe it's not quite what I think. So you've got information all about that. I mean, that's a lot of stuff there. So on here you've got the name of it, the description, and then notes on it. So for example, whatever this one is, you'll get +10 honour for saving the victim. So it's just giving you extra information on that. So these are all that. Then we've got special characters. So as you travel around the world, you'll regularly run into special characters that offer unique dialogue. Many of them can be encountered multiple times, with the way you behave early on affecting later stages. So for example, intimidating a special character may cause him or her to flee the next time they see you. So this map on this double page spread shows you the location of all special characters. You may find the details about them and when and how they can be encountered over the pages that follow. It's said to avoid unnecessary spoilers. Our descriptions are sufficiently detailed to enable you to recognise the opportunity, but suitably vague to preserve each story for you firsthand. So that's kind of cool. So it doesn't give too much away. So that's all of those. And again, lovely, lots of nice colourful artwork as well. So that's all that. And then that's the end of that chapter. So that was all of that, which is pretty amazing. So now we've got Atlas as a chapter, and this is called chapter features detailed annotated maps covering the entire world of Red Dead Redemption 2. No matter where you might go, the following pages will reveal everything that you can expect to find on your travels. So the first 2 pages here are just explaining this next chapter. It's an introduction, the legend, and notes about, so here's what will be the page, and then it's showing you, you know, this is what this means, this is what that means, etc. So it's just explaining it in detail here. And then we have the big map, which I don't think gives anything away, so let's just show you that. And you can see what it's saying is like wait, I don't even know where the first one is. So A5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you think, oh, I'm here, I need to look at C7, and that's on page 257. So you know exactly where you want to look, but you can see it's a massive area that you're dealing with here. And yeah, I don't understand why it doesn't start on A1, in all truthfulness. That does seem a bit weird. But anyway, so it starts on A5. But so what you get is this big map, and it says, for example, that there's a shack and there's some collectible that you might want in that particular map. And then you go to A6. And then, sorry, I was reading at the bottom here, I was a little bit confused, but then I realised. So then what it's saying is that here, if you've sort of come to the edge of this map and you want to carry on down, what you want is map B6 on page 249 of the book. So it's also telling you, and the same, obviously this one is next to that, and this one is the page before. So it's telling you where to go, whichever direction you end up, which is really helpful piece of information to put on there. So you can see the map is nicely sized. It has, if we go further in, you can see there's lots of little marks on it that tell you different things. Again, I don't think we're telling you anything too much by showing you. It's just showing you that. That doesn't actually tell you what anything is, I don't think, unless you know what the key is. So you can see it's got those little annotations on it that tell you certain things are available. So that's, if you don't want to necessarily read all the detail, you can come straight to this section and look at all of these maps. So you've just got loads here to look at. Then the next chapter is weapons. So this chapter offers an exhaustive appraisal of all weapons, including stats, ammunition, customization, and advice on how to best maintain them. So again, we've got weapon stats, weapon degradation, ammunition. So we've got all the icons as well for that. Gunsmiths, shops, other shops, I should say. Weapon customization. So you've got a specific thing that you can customize here, and what that means and how you do it, I guess. And modification lists. Weapon sheets. So we've got here, I mean, this looks stunning, doesn't it? I mean, doesn't this look gorgeous? So you've got here, for example, a revolver, and it gives you the availability, it gives you all the stats on it, and a beautiful image of what it looks like. I mean, the artwork is absolutely stunning. So that's your revolvers, and then you go on to all different ones. Whoops, I didn't mean to go that far. And you've even got throwables, look. Again, just all beautifully artwork on that. Next we have the same sort of thing, I think, items. This chapter offers a complete catalogue of all items, including parameters in the game, including parameters, availability, conditions, and other notable characteristics. It also provides a guide to crafting and comprehensive shop inventories. So again, these are like all your consumables. So for example here, a tonic. So you've got a little picture of it, and then availability, details of it, etc. So it's just giving you all of that. So this is all your tonics. This tonics continued, provisions, etc. So you just got all of your items there. And then we've got kits and tools. So again, we've got a little list, so you can see here it says icon, the name, notes about it, and availability. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail of too many of them because I don't want to spoil anything. And then special crafting materials, equipment. So that has the name, the price, and the unlock condition. Valuables, again, the icon, the name of it, and the availability. And then documents. So this is a list of hundreds of documents that you acquire throughout the game, such as letters, newspapers, and recipe pamphlets. And it's basically telling you what they are and where you'll find them and what chapter you will find them in. So if you're looking about, you'll say, for example, there's a letter and you'll find it in chapter 2 when you're at this particular location, for example. So there's lots there. Then you've got your newspapers, then you've got crafting. So it says, for example, the icon, then what the item is, the recipe pamphlet that you need, when you'll get it, and what ingredients you need to do it, make that item. Then we've got cooking, so same idea, basically recipes and stuff. And then we've got shops, so what's in them, where they are, etc. Stables, fence shops. I have a feeling that they don't mean fences to hold in the cattle. I have a feeling they're talking about fences as in people who fence stolen objects. Doctors, tailors, trappers, etc. Then we've got extras. It says this chapter is the home of a variety. Try that one again. This chapter is home to a variety of trials, trivia, and titillation not covered elsewhere, including secrets, achievements, and trophies, and advice on working towards total completion. Spoiler warning: even though the following pages do not feature careless plot or revelations, some of the topics discussed are linked to important story events. If you're sensitive to spoilers, we strongly suggest that you first reach the game's epilogue, and better still complete it before reading further. So I'm not going to go too much into this, but it's pretty obvious. It's just telling you things like what the trophies are. It's got a load of checklists. It's got some maps with points of interest, etc., collectibles, etc. I don't want to show anything there that might ruin it for you. And then obviously we're at the end. We've got the index, and then we've got the credits. Another beautiful back page artwork, and then on the back here as well. Another lovely, just explaining what's in the book. So hopefully this has been a useful look at the book and given you an idea of whether it's something that would be of interest to you. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you again for another video soon. Bye for now. Bye.